Good Tuesday morning. Um, Happy after Labor Day to all y'all out there. So today was pretty cool. I missed the Monday meeting. I can come up with excuses. I'm just going to tell y'all I failed today. I wanted to wake up and make it there. I knew I had to be there last night. I set my alarms. I wasn't awake enough to realize what the hell was going on until it was already too late to even leave the house to make it. I made it right at 7 though. So, I mean, I wasn't late for any actual work. I missed the Monday meeting. Are they mandatory? No, not really. But everybody goes to them. You want to be at the Monday meeting. It's an extra half hour they just give you, as long as you show up on time. It's not a bad deal, and I like going. I do. I enjoy going to the Monday meetings. Like to see all of my coworkers. We all get to sit around and discuss things about what happened last week, all the injuries and stuff. Go, well, there's not that many injuries. I mean, maybe there is. I don't know. I missed the meeting. I won't know. But the Monday meetings are pretty cool. We just talk about, what happened, what's going to happen, and what should happen and what not to happen. Just all kinds of happening things. And worked out. It's always a good time. Sometimes they bring in donuts or McDonald's sandwiches and stuff. I don't know if they did today. I didn't look to check. And it's not every Monday, but a lot of them. And we had one of our elite salesmen. He's been off for a week. He had surgery on his knee. So, and he showed up today, and I was like, dang, I wish I could have been there for the Monday meeting. And I could have heard his story, but I don't know, most people there, they think that I was in there. They think that I was in the meeting. There's just a sea of orange shirts with our logo on it. Everybody's wearing the same. Nobody noticed that I wasn't there. I mean, maybe that somebody did. I am a pretty loud person, so people will recognize if I'm there. I don't know necessarily recognize if I'm not there, but I've never gotten talked to or had any issues because of missing the Monday meeting or anything like that. And had a good weekend though. This is a nice long awaited 3-day weekend. I actually didn't even realize it was a 3-day weekend until about a week ago. But once I found out about it, I never forgot it. I'll tell you that. I just was like, hey, I better fucking schedule Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Just mark them as off, even though we're supposed to have them off. They're supposed to be off no matter what. Nobody scheduled me for a job or anything. But luckily, a week in advance, I knew to say I was going to be out of town for that. Did I go out of town? No. No, I didn't go out of town at all. I went down the road a little bit once. That was about it. I stayed at home. I said I was going out of town. I thought we definitely could have gone out of town. We didn't have plans to go out of town, but my wife had mentioned something, and we weren't sure what her parents were going to do, and I just wanted to mark it as out of town. And I don't think I'd get in trouble for any of that. Definitely wouldn't. Saying that I'm going out of town on my days off, and then I don't go out of town. Yeah, I have a life, okay? But if I hadn't have done that, I can guarantee you, Sunday morning, I would have been at the fucking pig factory, slopping up pig shit all over the fucking fuckhead shit. I'm so glad I didn't have to do that. They would have offered it to me, and I wouldn't have had anything to say but yes. So I'm really glad I marked that off. And it would have been nice overtime. Would have been real nice. But decided to not work this weekend. Was a great idea. I got some pictures. I'm going to post them up on the Facebook profile or Facebook, group. Um, they're just progress pictures of the square body. Sorry, I'm burping a little bit while I'm trying to talk. I already drank one cup of coffee, and guess what? I grabbed another cup of coffee because I got coffee for my house Friday night. I decided, you know what? I need coffee at home, so I went and I got coffee, little K cups, Colombian Supremo, and little creamers. Also, they're sugar-free creamers, but they just make everything taste way good. So I'd had one of those this morning from the house. Even though I was late, I had time to hit the button and fucking run around. And then, actually, instead of putting creamer in it this morning, I have these little protein drinks, and I poured a little bit of that protein drink into the coffee, and let me tell you, not bad. I would rather I don't really enjoy the vanilla protein drinks, but I'm telling you, if I had a vanilla protein drink and that's what I used for my creamer, it would have been done for, buddy. That's what I'd be ordering all the time. But I like to drink the chocolate ones, even though the chocolate, there's a little, tiny, tiny little bit of sugar, it says in there. But they're fucking delicious. They're fucking delicious. And apparently good for you. I don't know. I'm not a super strict carnivore. I try to be super strict, but I'm still a little, falling off the wagon here and there. But hey, I don't see any problem with that. I'm still losing weight, y'all. I didn't lose much this weekend. I also didn't eat a lot this weekend, so I'm excited for this next week to see another 5 pounds drop off if I can just keep my hand out of the fucking cookie jar. I don't eat cookies, but the cookie jar is a metaphor for just food in general. I still can overeat doing the carnivore. I try not to, and I try to fast. I try to do some fasting every now and again. But I don't know. It's easier to fast at home because I have to make my food. I don't have anything prepared. I have to make my food at home. My wife, she will make my food for me, but I like to do it myself. You take care of you and the kids. I'll take care of me. And that's kind of our understanding. She will make something every now and again, but she's like, we're going to eat something with noodles in it. I'm like, okay, eat something with noodles. I don't care. I'll be fine. And a lot of times I just don't eat because I don't want to make my own stuff. But if I do make my own stuff, it's a steak, beef, something, ground beef or something. I made delicious. They weren't as delicious as I was expecting them to be. My wife had made bacon in the morning, and she left the pan full of grease. I've been collecting the grease lately, but she left the pan full of grease on the deal. So one afternoon, I made burger patties, seasoned them up with Slaps barbecue, Slaps barbecue. The seasoning is fucking delicious. I love that seasoning. It does have sugar in it. The second ingredient on the fucking back of it says sugar. But in the calorie or in the little nutrition facts area, it's got less than 1 gram of sugar in it. So I actually didn't even look up like the serving set, like how much seasoning you're supposed to use. I don't know, a little bit. But anyways, I made up these cheeseburgers. Well, they were just burgers at the time, and I heated up that oil, and I basically like boiled my burgers in bacon fat. And I was like, this is gonna be one for the record books right here. And they were good, but I don't know. They something about that bacon grease wasn't good. I don't know. They were good, but they weren't what I was expecting. I was expecting like a huge taste of pork in my burger, and it didn't turn out that way. But that's fine. They're still really fucking delicious. A pound, 3/3 pound patties, and then I drape an American cheese. I know it's not real cheese, but I don't give a fuck. I'm throwing that American cheese on there. It melts so good, and it tastes all right. Anyways, last night we made a chicken. My wife bought a whole chicken. She wanted to do the beer butt chicken on the smoker deal, and I wanted to do that too. But it's a really small chicken. And so we looked up some crock pot meals. I was like, you know what? Just throw this bitch in the crock pot. Let's heat this motherfucker up in there. And it's going to be like fall off the bone delicious. She said, okay. So that's what we did. I forgot to pull out the bag of all the shit in the middle of it, but we did like baste it a little bit. Spatchcock chicken would probably be pretty good too. Where you break the spine and then you lay it out flat. That would have been good. And I don't know, what is that called whenever you throw a bunch of salt on it and you let it sit in your fridge until it looks like it's all fucking old? I don't know. There's something to do with that. You rub salt all over it, and you leave it in the fridge. It starts looking all gnarly, not in a good way. But whenever you cook it, like all that salt gets absorbed into the meat, and it tastes like super fucking good. Brine. I don't know what it is. Anyways, we just threw it in the crock pot. I threw a can of cream of chicken on top of it, and that ruined it for my wife. She's like, I'm not eating that. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's cream of chicken. It's not going to be like a soup. It's going to still be chicken. It's just going to, a little bit of extra moisture in here. Otherwise, it's just a bird sitting in a fucking crock pot. Where's all the juices? And I'll tell you what, that was pretty fucking delicious chicken. I shredded it up and I ate about half of it last night. And I got the other half sitting over here right next to me in my cooler, ready to be eaten. I'm going to see if I can warm it up once I get to my my loading place. I'm going to see if they have a little microwave. I can just throw it in there real quick. Even though it's in a plastic container, which I don't really like, but whatever. I don't give a shit on the microplastics. I'm not eating that cold-ass chicken. So I'm going to throw it in, see if they have a microwave, which I'm sure they do. Heat up that chicken, throw it back in my truck, and then go get loaded. And while I load it, I'm going to have nice warm chicken. And pork rinds. That's all I got. And over half of a protein shake with me. And an apple. I forgot. I've got an apple. My wife got Fiji apples, and they're a little fucked up looking. Okay, they're a little fucked up. The core is not centered on any of these. There's one side that's big and fat, and then there's the other side that's small and skinny, and I don't understand what the hell's going on with them. And they don't taste all the greatest, but, I'm going to eat it. Anyways, I wanted to give you guys an update on the SquareBody. The SquareBody is doing wonderfully. I did spend a lot of time working on the SquareBody, but I didn't spend near as much time as I should have spent working on it, because in the mornings, the sun comes up in the front of my house. I face east. The sun comes up, and it beats the living hell out of the front of my house. And that's where my truck is and everything. And it's too much. That's the morning sun, even though it's not that hot outside, the morning sun will just fucking cook you. Especially when you're trying to, everything I do would be in the sun. So, and I do have an umbrella that I can mount up, but I didn't want to have to, I don't know. I was just like making up excuses. I'm not going out there until afternoon. And then the sun is on top of you, but it's really not so bad. And then the shade starts coming in. So I was working on the truck most of the time, all 3 days from noon until like 8 o'clock at night. I was out there messing around with something. So, I mean, I got a lot of time to work on it, and I made a lot of progress. Well, I don't know. In my mind, I really didn't make a lot of progress, but I did. The bezel, the 3-panel bezel that you guys all know and love, is completed. I still need to drill out the holes for the gauges. So, and I don't have anything to drill those holes. I need a hole saw or something, or a drill press with the hole saw. I don't know. I need something better than what I have at home. I don't have the right hole saws. I don't have uh, a steady hand with the grinder, and I want these to be, I want them to look really nice. I don't want them to look like shit. I think we can all agree we don't want my shit to look like shit. But the 3 panels, I got the side panels made up. I grinded the edges down. They're nice and rounded. I didn't grind them down. I filed them down. I have a bunch of files. So I filed all the burrs off of it, made them all, they look fucking perfect, the side panels. Except for one, it's got like the large, I needed a piece large enough, and the one piece that I got, I thought I was going to end up sawing off this little notch that was in the top of it. But it's still there, and maybe I can take it off and I can clean it up a little bit to make it look a little bit better, but I'm not really worried about it. It's none of this is going to look like you bought it off of a store. It's going to look like I made it in my fucking garage, and that's kind of the point. I want it to look a little fucking fucked up. I don't want it to look, the only nice, shiny, brand new looking thing on the truck, well, right now is the master cylinder, because I wipe it down in oil, which I was kind of regretting, because I wanted it to rust to kind of match the rest of the truck, but I do like having a nice new looking master cylinder on there, and so I rub it down with oil so it doesn't rust, because those things rust real bad. But yeah, the bezel, I didn't want the bezel to be the nicest, newest looking thing with all these brand new buttons, brand new gauges, brand new radio, like all this brand new shit all right there. It's got to look a little fucked up. And the actual diamond plate is a little fucked up. It's been oxidized. It's been sitting in my garage. It's all scratched up. A little bit of it is dented. It's like I said, it's got that little notch sticking out of the top of it in this one spot. The centerpiece that I made is nice and square and completely flat. The outside pieces, I just eyeballed it with a fucking angle grinder and tried to cut a nice straight line. I got pretty close. So there is a little bit of a gap there, but no worries. I've got a plan to do something to make it look so you can't see through the gap. And there's only one little gap. But I had a piece of steel because I didn't think I had enough diamond plate to make the centerpiece. I had enough aluminum diamond plate to do the outside pieces, but the centerpiece was made out of a door to an old fucking toolbox. It's fake diamond plate steel, super thin steel, and I cut it out and I put it in there, but whenever I measured, so the original bezel, when it sits, it's actually angled up at a slight degree. A slight degree, it's angled up. So whenever I made my cuts and I put everything on there, it's not angled up. It's angled down. So it increased the size of the gaps. So if I pull the panels up, there's no gap. But if I push them down, there's a little gap there. And I was like, oh, fuck. Well, good thing the centerpiece wasn't made with nice diamond plate, because I would have been pretty upset if I cut that fucking piece and I needed to make it, a 1/4 inch wider on each side at the bottom. The top was perfect. The bottoms were not. So I took that into account. I went through my diamond plate supply again, I found a piece. It had a bend in it because these were going to be toolbox lids. There's a high school project that I made a long fucking time ago, back in 2007, 2008, around then. And it was I threw what I didn't throw it away. I gave the big sheet metal toolbox piece to somebody. It was a full depth, 2 foot wide, giant fucking toolbox that I was going to make up, and it was not going to be good. So I failed on that project in shop class, but I kept the diamond plate lids. I kept all of them. I had the centerpiece and then the 2 side pieces on the lids, and those worked out perfectly. Now, I would have had a lot more left over, and I would have been able to use probably one single piece of diamond plate to do the entire bezel, which would have been kind of cool, but I kind of like having the 3 panels, so I can just take off the gauges, I can just take off the switches, or I could just take off the radio area. But I cut the fucking the block off panel that goes underneath on the firewall where the heater core and everything was. The block off panel that I made, I cut it to the exact shape of the housing that came off of there, and then I decided later on I didn't like that. So I have this very weird, oddly not good shaped piece of diamond plate that is not going to be used for anything now, and that was a lot of real estate. And I cut it fucking backwards. Wouldn't you know that? I cut it fucking backwards. So I ended up grabbing the other plate and I made a new piece. And I still had just enough to do the 3-panel system. One of the bends, there was a bend where the toolbox lid bends over or whatever. I had to bend it flat again. So now there's a nice little crease right in the middle of one of my panels, but it's okay. It still looks pretty fucking good. I bent it pretty flat, but there's no getting rid of that crease, I'll tell you that. And yeah, I got everything cut out. The centerpiece that I had before, that was that thin steel, I used that kind of as a template. Not really, because it was really out of whack, but I used that as a template to kind of make sure I was getting the right sizes. I kept going back to the truck and trimming it up just so slightly, because I wanted this to fit fucking perfect. And it does. It fits pretty fucking perfect. I got all the holes drilled, not all of them, but most of the holes drilled to mount it. So I had it completely mounted in the truck. The right side of the bezel, I got it cut out. I got the radio piece cut out. I had to do a little bit of banging and a little bit of cutting, but I got the radio fits in there snug and secure. Like, it's fucking secure, boys. It's not going anywhere. It feels right. It doesn't feel, all wobbly and fucking bullshit. It feels nice. And then the old piece, I had 2 pieces of that, like, really that thin wood that my buddy cut out for the gauges. I had 2 pieces of that, one that was cut wrong and the other one that was cut right. So the one that was cut wrong, I just kind of cut out the area where the big gauges go, and then I cut out a giant hole out of the metal, and then I sandwiched the good piece that had the gauges with the bad piece on the backside, and it worked out. It worked out. I took a couple pictures of it like that, and then that's when I decided I need to look up to see how much more diamond plate is, and it was like $12 for a 12 by 12 piece, and that's all I needed. But then I went and I found that other piece of diamond plate and decided if I folded it out, it would be just big enough, and it was just big enough. But it looks fucking good. I'm sorry to my neighbors listening to a metal shop all weekend long, basically, like all of the good time that you could be outside, I'm out there. Oh, the whole fucking time. Just fucking grinding aluminum diamond plate. All my trash cans out front. Those trash cans make a really nice workbench, mobile workbench. So, sorry to the neighbors out there. Everybody's outside. They're like, oh, it's a beautiful day. Let's go outside. Fuck! Piece of shit doesn't fit. You know, just listening to me. I got fucking Katy Perry blaring on the radio in the garage. Ah, man, it was a good time. But yeah, I got that stuff done. I brought the panels with me to work today. So after work, I'm probably going to go into the shop and see if we have the right tools. If not, at least we have something. We got to have something at the shop that'll help me cut these circles. And I want these circles to be perfect. So just got to make it work. Just got to make it work, buddies. And then the new piece, it'll still have the wood. The wood will be on the back side because I need it to be a little bit thicker for the rings on the back of the gauges to secure it, to tighten them, because they only go so tight, you know. So that piece of wood is going to be on the back, and it's also going to help strengthen it up a little bit. But on the face of it, it's going to be diamond plate with the gauges popping out of it. It's going to look good. Part of me kind of wants to, I don't know what the fuck I would need to do. I really need to do some thinking and brainstorming. Because like I said, the bezel, the original bezel was tilted up slightly, and then even the gauges on the inside were also tilted up slightly. Because when you sit in the truck, if it's completely flat, you can still see the gauges, but if it's tilted down a little bit, you can't see the top of any of the gauges because it's tilted. So I need to try to think of something that I can do. I was thinking about like little shims, like little round pieces that are tapered that I can put on the bottom on the outside and then on the top on the inside, and that will rotate the gauges ever so slightly up. It's not going to look good, boys. That's not going to, I might just give up on that. And then also, when I posted, you'll see in the pictures that I post, but the original pictures, the 4 small gauges are on the bottom, and they were unreadable. You couldn't read them with them the way it was, so I switched it. So now the small gauges are going to be on the top, along the top of the dash, and then the big gauges are going to be down at the bottom. It's going to look all right. It's going to look all right. And then this Thursday, I'm hoping this Thursday I can order my buttons. We got a nice sized paycheck coming in, so I should be able to order, hopefully, the switches. If not, then I can at least get my fuse box. And I'm not sure which one I want to start with. You know, if I got the choice, I'd like to get everything, obviously. I'd like to get everything that I'm going to need to do the wiring. But I need the fuse box to start out with. I need to figure out where the fuse box is going to go. And then also, I sat down in the garage and I stripped the entire harness. All the harness wire that I cut out of the truck, I had sitting on the floor in the garage. And I was like, this is perfect. There's a lot of length, a lot of different colors. This will be awesome. So I stripped all that fucking electrical tape and all that bullshit off of these wires. Got all the wires cut perfectly on the end, so these are good wires. If any wires, and I felt the entire wire, because I had my drill, I just held the wire onto my drill bit, and and it rolled it up into a nice little coil, and I was able to feel if there's any breaks or cuts, and also just make sure they're not brittle. And everything, all the wires that I saved are good. There were some that were bad I threw away, but I have a lot of good wire now in many different colors. I got black and orange, black and white, orange, orange and black. I got pink, pink and white, pink and black, blue and white, blue and black. I got so many different colors of wires, and they're all ready to go. The only problem is I don't like having any red wire. So I might have to buy a roll of red wire because everything is going to take a red wire, which is kind of weird that I didn't have. Like, I do have like a lot thicker gauge of wire for red that I cut out. So I have some thicker gauge of red, yellow, black, green maybe. I'm not sure. But I'm going to need a lot of red wire, I think. Now, that all depends on how long the wire for the gauges are, because all the gauges, I thought about getting a plug for the gauges, like a 6-pin plug. So all the gauges, all the powers, I could put all the reds into a plug, and then on the other side of the plug is like just one red wire hooked up to it, so I can just plug all the gauges in. All the gauges will have power, and then I plug that into the fuse box, or the junction box or whatever. So then all the gauges get power, and then also another plug for all the grounds. But I don't know how to wire shit up. That doesn't seem right to me. Because on all these gauges, they have their own fuse on the back. Bless me. So sorry. I tried to block that one a little bit. There's another one coming, so hold up. I think I blocked that one a lot better. Anyways, I don't know how to wire. I like to think I can kind of understand how to wire stuff up, but I'm going to need my buddy to come over and help me. And not really, yeah, he's going to definitely help. But just tell me what to do, and I can do it. Get all the gauges wired up into a pod, so every gauge is going to be on one fuse at the fuse box, and all the gauges have their own fuses with them also, I believe. I think they do. They might not. I don't know. But maybe another inline. I don't know. I don't know how secure. I don't want to burn these gauges up. That would really suck. Because I don't know if I could buy these gauges individually. I think you have to buy them all in a set, and they all match. So, anyways, get the fuse box, go to the junkyard, cut out a fuse box out of some old truck somewhere, make sure it's got all the right stuff, and then I don't need it to have any wire, really. So I'll cut it off at probably like a foot, and then just take that fuse box with me with all the fuse. I don't know if I should take all the fuses also. I don't know if the place is going to charge me per fuse. So maybe just take it up to the counter and like, okay, that'll be $75. I'm like, whoa, $75 for a fucking piece of shit fuse box that should work but might not. I'd rather spend $100 on a brand new one off of Amazon that's got all the right wire. It's not a painless wiring kit, but it is like a decent wiring kit. I'd rather spend $100 if they try to. I'll pull all those fucking fuses out at the counter. I'm like, keep the fucking fuses. I don't want the fuses. I'm not gonna pay for all these fucking fuses. I've got fuses at home. I just thought it'd be easier to keep them. I gotta get this fucking fly. There's a fucking fly on my windshield. He's fucking with me. I think I got it. I don't know if I did. Anyways, I thought about cutting the rest of the floor out, but I really don't want to do that. And the more I look at the floor, the more I think I need to definitely get the mounts. I need to get the cab braces. I don't know what they're exactly called, but they go from the cab mount over to the outside of the cab from the frame. And the truck's been riding around without them for a long time. Somebody made sheet metal ones, and oh shit, sneeze. Oh fuck, it went away. God damn it. Fuck, that sneeze is still, no, he didn't go away. He's like, I ain't gonna do it yet. Get out of here, sneeze. If you're not gonna sneeze, don't sneeze. Okay. Yeah. What else did I do? I got on my little rolly, my bob, and got underneath the truck, and the starter. I'm so surprised nothing caught on fire with the way this thing was wired up before. So I need to do some work on the starter. There's only 3 wires, and it does not look good. So one of those wires will be from the battery, I believe, to the solenoid, and then the other wire will go to the button, and then there's a ground or something. This fucking Lowe's truck is just hogging the left lane. Not sure why. He's got room to get over now. He just doesn't. He just likes cruising in the left lane, I guess. Go for it, buddy. But hey, your dock plate or your fucking lift gate on the back of your truck is halfway down. So hopefully it doesn't go down anymore. Hopefully you guys just forgot you folded it up and then you're like, all right, it's good. After you fold it up, you're supposed to suck it up even more. So when I wasn't working on the truck, I was playing Car X Street, yo. This game is a lot of fun. And usually I'm not into those arcadey type of games, but the physics on this game aren't the greatest. It's still arcadey, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just letting myself go a little bit, because I had every chance to, whenever I click on a game to start up, I can click on Beam and G, or I can click on the Car X Street, and I don't know. There's just something about the Car X Street game that's just so much fucking fun to click yes, let's play it. The Beam and G game is so much fun. It's just so, there's too many options for mods. I can't not, whenever I turn on that game, I can't not spend about an hour scrolling through the website, looking at all the new mods that came out, downloading them, moving the files over, starting up the game, and then for shit to not work, or shit to be a little fucked up, my game to crash, something like that. It's just like, I wish it worked better. In the Car X game, you just click on the fucking Car X logo, it pops up, and then you're in the game, you're driving around, you're drifting, you're online, you're with your buddies. I don't have any buddies on there. I think my brother did download the game, but I haven't played with him yet. But I just got to level 15, which is pretty cool, and been racing around. I did a couple of the boss races and stuff, and the drifting was pissing me off because I feel like I'm pretty good at drifting on the game. Like in free roam, just running around, I'm like drifting around corners. I'm like, this is fun. But then every time I go in to do a drifting like race or whatever, I always get like super bad scores. I don't know, and I'm like, I redo them and redo them and redo them, and I'm like just trying to get a little bit better. I mean, getting first is the goal, but how about third? How about second? You know, because I'm not racing anybody. I'm just out there driving around by myself on those missions. But it's just like, I can't fucking drift hard enough to get anything. So, people were saying, oh, it's your car. You gotta upgrade your car. The original cars aren't good at drifting. I'm like, it's pretty good at drifting though. I like how it feels. It feels all right now. The first to second shift, it's fucking bullshit. I drive in automatic mainly because I don't know. I prefer the automatic on this video game. Now on the other Car X, I like the sorry, I'm going through a construction zone. I can't tell if they're putting up signs to go 60 or if they're taking them down. I'm gonna continue on my way the way I am. Anyways, the game is a lot of fun. I recommend it. I don't recommend it like with my entire heart or whatever, but I do recommend the game if anybody's out there looking for a new game to play and you have a PC, because it's not out on console yet. But once it gets out on console, it's going to be basically the same fucking thing. Except hopefully the fixes that they're doing to because right now the game is only out on mobile. And they've done a lot of fixing on the mobile game. Shit, there's a trooper. Trooper. I don't think he's coming after anybody. Probably not. I don't know that. A lot of people are complaining about the economy in the game because you don't make a lot of money doing stuff. You do. You make all right money, but they increased it, so now you make even more money, which is kind of cool. They increased it by a lot. They cut the tires because you had to buy tires on the game and fuel, and they cut the fuel down by 75%, which is awesome. You know, because you have to buy fuel all the fucking time. You run out of fuel, your car still drives, but it fucking spits and sputters. It doesn't go fast. So you got to buy fuel. And the fuel was like $5,000 for a tank of fuel. I was like, what the fuck? Holy shit, like $5,000. So they got that fixed. So now it's only $1,000 for a tank of fuel. But it's a fun game. It's a really fun fucking game. You got me a couple cars on there. I got a Nissan 240. I got a Nissan Z convertible. That was like a free car. I got a BMW wagon. It's a free car. I got a newer Supra convertible. It's a free car. And then my starter car, the little Civic. So the only car that I bought and built myself was the 240. And yeah, last night I saved up $150,000 doing a bunch of races and stuff, like not doing anything but just trying to beat through these races. And then I spent all of that money on this one car, leveled it up, and got it to where it's got all the right drifting parts on there, and it's tuned a little bit. And I will say it is better. It is a lot better. But, I don't know. Spent a lot of fucking money trying to get this car to work right, and now it works better, but it's still not where I want it to be. Don't even have, like, the good shit unlocked yet, so I don't know. But that's part of the game. Part of the game. There's a lot of guys out there that are like, oh, you got to go to this website, and then you download the APK modding deal, and then you open up the game through the website, and then you can set in multipliers, so you can multiply your winnings by like 100 or whatever, and you can get $2 billion in one race or whatever. It's like, that really, every time I've done that in a game, I've quit playing it shortly after that, because there's no point. There's no point in doing it. But it does really suck whenever you're playing it and you're like, fuck, man, I just need a little bit more money. Like, just give me it'd be cool if there were bigger bonuses. That's all you really need, is just bigger bonuses. But people, no matter what they do to the game, people are still going to cheat. And it really makes it not fun for everybody else if a lot of people are cheating, because every time you go into a multiplayer race, you're probably racing a modded motherfucker that's just going to wipe the fucking floor with you. And then you're like, okay, cool. Now I can't, I'm trying to follow the rules and I can't beat these fucking fuckheads. If you can't beat them, join them. But if you join them and like the game doesn't update, or I don't know, they go through and they run their modding stuff, because it is an online game. Like, you can, it's not just having fun on a game, because people spend, well, actually there is a way to, there's a lot of microtransactions in the mobile version, but in the PC version there was nothing. You could buy like a car pack, which I already bought. That's the only thing that you can buy extra. There's no in-game purchases or whatever. But eventually there will be. I guarantee you there will be something like that. And whenever they do that, yeah, if you're modding a game where they do in-game purchases, and I spend money on my car, and then you basically steal the money because you're modded, yeah, that's not cool. Like, you're stealing. Plus, you're like getting in-game credits for free when they're selling them. That's also stealing. So, I don't know. I'm sure they have plenty of anti-cheating programs set up, and maybe they're not running them right now. The game just fucking came out on Thursday. But as soon as they turn that on, I have a feeling a lot of accounts are going to get banned, and maybe even IP addresses or something. So I'm not getting into all that shit. Now on BeamNG Drive, I did go into the files and change some stuff, but you buy the base game, and then there's no in-game purchases at all. Like, you can pay a modder for his mods or whatever, but that's it, and that's all private sale purchase, unaffiliated with the game, technically. So they don't really give a shit. They like to see people changing their game and making it better and all kinds of stuff. But with the CarX, I don't think they want anybody going in there and fucking with the shit. And I haven't even looked to see if I can get into the game files, but I don't want to. If I go in there and I change anything and they run their scan, and then they're like, oh, there's a change. Somebody made an unauthorized change inside of this file, or whatever. and you sign the terms and agreement or whatever, and I'm sure there's something in there about it. So I ain't gonna do that. I mowed the backyard. I did a really horrible job. I'm excited about the backyard, or about my mower now, because I fixed my mower. My mower used to clog up all the fucking time, and you have to do a wheelie when you mow, so not too much grass gets cut, and so it gets up into your fucking mower and clogs the motherfucking thing. It's bullshit. Um, so I ran around a couple of times, and my backyard got really long all of a sudden. Like, it was long, but it wasn't horrible. And then, I don't know, all of a sudden it looks like the grass over here in the middle of the fucking highway. It's like super fucking tall. And my poor doggies, they'd go outside and they'd be like, we're not going out there. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, the grass is twice as tall as they are. So I went ahead and mowed. I was like, I got to get it done. And I did that in the morning since all the shade was in the back, which was nice. But did a wheelie around for 2 laps around the backyard, and I said, something's got to fucking change. So I just grabbed some pliers, and I tilt the mower over, and I bang on it, and twist it, and bend it, and yeah, apparently that's all it fucking needed. Because now nothing gets stuck. So where the chute is, where it comes out, I flared it out a little bit so it won't clog up right there. I flared that out, and then on the back side of where the hole is open, it was clogging up right there, and it was getting hit by the blades and stuff. So I bent that in a little bit. So there's a much wider chute and more streamlined. So whenever the grass gets cut, it will shoot it out and it won't clog up as much. And I didn't think much of it, but as soon as I started mowing, through the thickest grass in my yard, where it always clogs up, it was shooting this shit out. No fucking problem. I was like, holy shit. Wow. I have had this mower for years, just doing wheelies around my backyard, rocking it back and forth, trying to shake the fucking grass out of it so it won't die. Because it's a pretty powerful mower for just being a push mower. Because when I first got it from my neighbor, he threw it out. He's like, hey, I got this mower. It works. Self-propel's bad, but it works. Do you want it? I'm going to throw it away. I said, yeah, I'll take it. Because I'm always running through mowers. And I got rid of my last 2 mowers, so now I just have the one. And it was super powerful when I first got it. I was like, damn, this thing's fucking way better than my old mowers. It's a Lawn Boy. I don't know what engine's on it. Probably just a regular old Briggs. But my other ones were Briggs also, but they were smaller. And they just weren't doing good. And I've bought 2 riding mowers, and I've sold them both. So I don't think I'm going to get another riding mower. Well, one of them I got for free. And I spent money on it. Tires, and a battery, and a steering shaft. And it was okay, but I don't know. The belts and the pulleys and stuff were going bad on it, and I was just like, I'm going to get rid of this fucking thing. Luckily, I sold it to a guy that runs the landscaping crew at a golf course. Probably a shitty golf course if they're buying a $200 mower. But they bought my mower. He's like, I just need a tractor to pull around a trailer. I don't need it to mow or anything. And I thought this would be perfect. I'm like, oh, wonderful. Because drop the deck on this thing. The deck is a piece of shit. Run the mower. Run the fucking tractor. It'll be all right. Oh, and it had a new carb on it too. So, and I got that. I pushed that mower. It was sitting at the edge of one of my other neighbor's curbs, so I just pushed that thing home, and it's a good little mower. But I didn't like the manual mower where you have to shift the gears. I like the hydrostat where you just push it forward and it goes faster. So I should have kept my first riding mower that I got when I moved into this house. I should have just kept that one. I ended up selling that for $80. Just because I didn't think I needed it. I think I was on one of them health kicks at the time, and I was like, if I just get rid of my riding mower, I'll get exercise by push mowing it. And I was like, this is a bad idea. Anyways, yeah, got the backyard mowed. Wonderful, wonderful. And now I don't know. Sometime this week, I'm gonna get all the yard mowed all at one time. The front yard's already a little bit long, or well, not long, but it's longer than it should be. And the weed eating has not been happening, so I need to go through and weed eat the areas. My house looked pretty junky over the weekend with, a bench seat of a truck, a bunch of wires, grinder, metal shavings all over the place. My truck got the hood and the doors open. My yard is all tall as shit and unweeded. And I'm out there in fucking Crocs and shorts, just with a face shield on. I put a face shield on because I had a routing table. My buddy gave me a routing table. He's like, "You want this?" I'm like, yeah. And so I have this routing table, and that's what I was going to try to use to cut where the steering column goes off of the plate that I'm making. And I don't have any router bits, so I just used a stepper bit, and that doesn't work. By the way, pretty scary. Doesn't work at all. It clogs up with the aluminum, so I need to get a routing bit, but I don't even need it now because I got everything cut out the right way. The disc on my angle grinder, or my buddy's angle grinder, because mine's burnt up, was the perfect size for the steering column, so I just went down flat, and I made it, it's a perfect circle. You can't beat it. Now, there's a little bit of scratches and shit all around it where I fucking all over the fucking place because it's kind of hard to hold it. But it is a perfect circle. It fits way better than the first one. The holes are drilled in a much better, because the first one I just drilled fucking holes to mount it, and so this one I actually measured it out, and all the bolts are uniform across the 3-panel system. Just got to get the gauges cut out and get the buttons cut out once I get the buttons. But I'm probably going to have my buddy, and once I get all the buttons, I'm going to have my buddy draw up a panel system for 10 buttons. I'm not going to use all 10 buttons, but I'm going to have him draw up a panel that has 5 and 5. And then I'm going to figure out how many buttons I'm actually going to use. And then put that on there on the diamond plate and use that as, a backer again for the buttons. But I'm only on the diamond plate. I'm only going to drill out the holes for the buttons that I need. But if I want to add a button, all I got to do is drill another hole, and boom, I can put another button in there. So I think that's a good idea. The other 2 things that I need to fabricate, 3 things. There's a cubby hole that I want to make for underneath where the radio is. I'm thinking about a tray, but I don't know if I'm going to be good enough to fabricate a tray that pulls out or, rotates out, or I don't know, or just a hole. Maybe put just a hole there and then get some of that trim stuff that you put on like the edge of your car door or whatever, and line it like that so I don't cut my hand every time I reach inside of there. And then have like a little box on the inside, and I could just put my shoe and other stuff inside there. So I don't know if my cubby hole is going to be like that, or a tray, or a door, or, I don't know. It would be kind of cool to have it on like a little door and then have a little key. Put a little lock on there. And so I have a little locking door on my fucking, I don't know. That sounds kind of dumb. Probably won't do that. But it would be, put my can of chew and or like the button for my starter. Not the button for the starter, but the button for the on switch for the battery. I can throw it in there and then lock it with the key so I can walk around with keys. But then every time I need to start the truck, I got to undo that box and then, probably not. The other thing is the phone mount. I'm trying to think of a cool phone mount. I don't want a cheapo plastic phone mount. I thought about using I have a belt clip, and I thought about using kind of the belt clip, just cut a little hole in there so the belt clip will mount on the dash. But that sounds like it's going to be fucking wobbly and not cool. So I'm kind of in the market. So my work, we have these RAM mounts. And if I can get a RAM mount, but just the X piece of it, that would be kind of cool to put up on the dash, and then I can just, squeeze it open, and then I can hold my phone upright or side to side, however I want it to be held. Well, actually, it only works one way, but I can rotate the RAM mount. So get a phone mount in there some way, somehow, and then probably wire up a charging cable into the dash a little bit and just have it kind of pull out, and then I can charge my phone, or just do it old school and just have a wire. I'm not sure. Still brainstorming on that, and I've thought about it, but I haven't drawn up any designs or gotten any pieces to make that work out. And then the third, probably not final, but one of the other three things that I'm thinking about is a cup holder on the left side at the top. So right next to the wing window, kind of. Some sort of a cup holder, because there's no cup holders in this truck anywhere else, and I'm going to need a cup holder for something, for a coffee cup or spitter cup, something. So I don't know if I want to do a two-hole cup holder or whatever, and I could have a coffee cup and my spitter sitting right there, because that's about all I'm going to have. But I don't even need a drink holder. I just need a spit holder. So on that side, I was thinking about having, that would be a fold-out type of deal. Or just a fixture already. So my drink will go, or my spitter will be right there, and it'll be nice and secure. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to put a cup holder on the side like that, because that would, I don't know how that would look and how that would even work. But because the SquareBody dash, that's where I'll stick a water bottle. I'll shove a water bottle right up there next to the VIN plate, and it stays right there. But if I don't put, because my buttons are going to be a little bit lower, like kind of in the middle, and then my they're going to be in the middle. I don't know what I'm going to put in the lower spot, and then up in the top on that side, because the other side's it's got the phone, the radio, and a cubby hole. This side, I guess I could match cubby holes. I could put a cubby hole on both sides, but I'm going to need some sort of a cup holder in this truck, and mounting it anywhere else just doesn't really look good. They have those little things where you can take the ashtray out and you can mount this like cup holder thing, and it goes right into the ashtray. but I don't want my ashtray to be open all the time, and it doesn't look cool. And also, I plan on putting a floor shifter, even though it's an automatic. I think a floor shifter would look really fucking cool. So put a floor shifter, and that's going to be in the way of my floor shifter. I guess I could put my floor shifter kind of wherever I want if I'm going to fabricate it myself, most likely. Um, I'll use good hardware, and I'll use good steel. Be all right. And then I want to go to a junkyard or a SquareBody Haven or whatever, and find one of them really cool, the bent SquareBody shifter. So it's going to look like a 5-speed. It'll have the boot on it and everything. It'll look like a 5-speed or a 4-speed or whatever, but it'll really just be up as fucking neutral, or up as park. And hopefully I can make it to where it's a crispy shifter. Because right now it's got the column shifter, and it's ran with a cable and all that shit, and it's soft. And it's kind of like, what the fuck? Also on the bed where the gauges go, I can do that at home because I have drill bits that'll be the right size to cut a hole for the blinkers. I got another one coming that's a hazard light. And I was thinking about putting that right in the middle, but I might put that over with the other buttons. Or right next to the engine start button. I can have the engine start and the hazard light right next to each other, because they're the exact same button, just they look a little different. One of them is a momentary switch for the starter, and the other one is a click on, click off for the hazards. And then the steering column, I could go look. I need to get a new steering column probably, or rebuild the one I have. It's really bad. So I'll probably end up doing that. Try to find a steering column for a 5-speed. But I'm still going to shave off the key. The key will be gone. The only wires going up will be for the blinker and the horn. Because I want to keep the horn, you know. And that shouldn't be a big deal. And then I just rebuilt the blinker on this steering column, but I don't know. I guess if I'm shaving off the shifting column and the key, and I'm gonna wrap it with something, I thought about getting like some sort of shrink wrap or something. Like bend a piece of metal to go over the steering column, but then getting a big piece of shrink wrap and put it over that, and then shrink it up to it so it's going to look nice and smooth and good. And it'll cover up all of the blemishes on where I shaved shit off the steering column. Be a totally custom type of deal. Man, the dreams I have for this truck. It's gonna look so fucking redneck, but it's also not gonna look super. I mean, it's gonna look a little rusty and crusty, but the floor, I'm gonna eventually get the floor done, and I mean, before I even get it inspected and ready to drive out on the road and stuff, I'm gonna get the patch panels put in, and I'm gonna seal up all the gaps and stuff. It's still gonna be rust. But as long as things are secure, the actual mounts, those are the only thing I really need to put in right now. Put the cab mounts in. Well, I guess in order to put those cab mounts in and for them to do anything, you got to have the rockers, inner and outer rockers, and the sill plate with the kick panel. I think you kind of got to have those on there also. So that kind of sucks. So maybe I will, and then the only other thing to do is fucking floor pans after that. So I don't know. maybe before it does run, I have the whole interior done with that, and then need to get another type of angle grinder or another. I need to get a wire for the fucking angle grinder, wire head for it, so I can go through and I can get all the rusts, at least the surface area of everything knocked down, smooth it all out, paint it, and for soundproofing, I found some of this shit. It's made for toolbox. I think it's for toolboxes for like the shelves inside your toolbox. But I have a big ass roll of this shit. It's thin, but it's like rubber shit. I thought about running that over the entire floor and then getting carpet and putting carpet in there too, because I like a truck with carpet. It would be nice to have a nice carpeted area inside there. Is the carpet gonna fit right if I do it myself? If I just find a fucking rug or something? I don't know. I've seen people, not that I'm gonna do it, but I've seen people where they get those car rugs where it's got all the houses and stuff on it, and they use that as their floorboard carpet or their headliner. I'm not running a headliner. No headliner for me. I like the metal, and I plan on doing some sort of a magnetic lighting system for the interior lighting. Probably gonna just do that, because if I get just little magnet, lights or whatever, and I run them along the bottom of the dash on the inside, and I turn on the dome light or whatever, and all these turn on. But if I want to move them around or whatever, they're just magnetic, and there's nothing wrong with them being magnetic and just strung out along the bottom. I could do Christmas lights. I could do a lot of different shit. Christmas lights, actually, the bright white LED Christmas lights, get some of those and just wire them up underneath there. It's not going to look like Christmas. It's just going to look like bright white string lights or whatever. And then for the dash, I'm going to see if my buddy will... I have a little bit of a project. I don't want to bring it up right now, but I actually just kind of came up with it. That not just now, but there's been I guess I'll say it. For some odd reason, I had crawdads, crawfish, whatever the fuck they are. I had those running around in my garage. Where the fuck did they come from? There's not any body of water near me. There's a creek about 4 blocks away. I don't see these crawfish walking that far to get into my fucking garage. I have no idea where these crawfish came from. But there's 2 of them that came into my garage, and one of them's still in really good shape. He's dead, obviously. Just found him dead on the ground. But I'm thinking that if I can get my buddy to get him into some sort of make him secure, pour some of that resin shit on him, but I don't want him to be in a ball or whatever. I want him to be, still a crawfish, and then bolt a little spring to the bottom of him, and have him a little fucking bobblehead on my on the dash of my truck. I have no idea why. It's just a crawfish that was in my garage, and I'm thinking about making him into a bobblehead, because I always thought about just gluing him to the dash right there and just having him there. But now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I could make him a little bobblehead crawdad. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe not. I don't know. Is that dumb? I don't think it is. I think it's kind of interesting. People be like, wow, this is a custom truck. What the fuck is that? It's a crawfish. Why does he have a crawfish on his dash? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. It's just the way it is. It's the way it's going to be. And then windshield. I need to do windshield before I get it inspected, because that's real bad. The exhaust is good. The exhaust is good. Need to get 1 new tire. Tires will be fine. I need to get all new tires, but for right now, I'm going to run them, and hopefully they don't fucking blow up. Hopefully these tires don't blow out. I'm going to throw once I get it running and driving or whatever, I'm going to make sure I have a fucking, a tire iron and throw the spare tires that I got sitting in my garage in the back of the truck. So if for some odd reason I'm driving and all four tires blow out, I can swap them over. But I'm gonna run these tires. I'm gonna see what they can do. I'm gonna see if they will last. They are all holding air very well. Like, they're perfect holding air. Now, driving down the road and swerving around shit and everything like that, I don't know. They lasted around my neighborhood a couple of times, but I haven't taken them out on the highway. And one of them I know is going to be way out of fucking whack. So, at high speeds, it's probably not going to be a fun time. And with that thing fucking shimmying that whole truck down the highway, all the rust and shit falling out from underneath it, it's not going to be good. And the guy that I bought these tires from, I paid $100 for these 33s, and they're good looking tires, but they're worn, super fucking weird. Well, not super weird. The front suspension on this dude's truck, this fucking shit's going out. So he's got major camber in the front of his lifted '96 Chevy truck. And these tires got a little too worn out, so he just went out and bought new tires for it. And I'm like, dude, you need to fix the front end of your fucking truck. That shit's gonna fall the fuck apart. But no, he's wearing out his brand new tires in a horrible. He's like, I'm gonna get it fixed. I'm like, okay, well, you should probably fucking do that before you wear out your tires too bad. I mean, or wear them out like that, and then I'll buy them from you, because I'm going to need a couple of tires. So the tires that I have on my truck were on his truck, and the camber really wore out the inside of the tires. But I mounted a couple of them backwards, and it is a straight axle truck. It's got a straight axle in the front, straight axle in the rear. There's no option to have camber on this truck. So I figured, even though these tires are worn horrible, as long as I put them on there, I'm going to have perfect camber, and they'll eventually wear flat, and it won't be a big deal. Need to get the bed cleaned out and look for a fuel cell also. I'm on Facebook Marketplace. I got a couple of them saved. They're not going to be there by the time I'm ready to buy, but I do like to look at them. And, as soon as I buy one, I'm going to find the one that I actually wanted. That's how it fucking works. But get a fuel cell for the bed of the truck. I'm thinking I'd like a 30-gallon, but if a 40 or a 50 is all I can get, or all I can find that will suit my needs, that's what I'm going to get. I've been looking at a lot of fucking boat tanks. People are selling all these boat tanks and shit. And there's one that it's like two that go inside the pontoons or whatever. I don't know where they go or exactly what they do, but they're like skids. They look like the fucking shit on the bottom of an airplane that goes on the water. The little floats or whatever. They look like that. And I've seen them, and they only want like $50 for them. And I'm like, huh. Where could I put those? I could suck those. Now, those are really long. I could suck those up on the frame, and they might work out. I don't want to do that. I don't want it in the frame. I want it in the bed of the truck. I want a fuel tank in the bed of the truck. And that would be kind of cool. I'd like to get one with a sight glass on the side. I don't know why. My new fuel gauge has got to float with it, so it should be fine. But I want me steel would be best, but I'll do aluminum, and I'll get some sort of a tank. And I don't want those race car tanks, the square boxes they put in the bed of their or either the bed of their truck or the trunk of their car or whatever. I don't really want one of those. That takes up a lot of room. I'm looking for a nice thin rectangle to put up against the front of the bed, but wide enough that I can still put my sending unit and stuff in there. And then hopefully it's got baffles, but I'll just kind of play it by ear, see how it goes. And this is gonna be a fun truck to have. Can't fucking wait. Got my square body. You want to get over, Honda? Nope. Yep. Cool. Minivan, out of gas. All right, I'm tired of following this Honda. I'm gonna hammer down and try to get around them. And we're making our way to Des Moines today. Got the Kenworth T880 hooked to the 53-foot dry van. Pretty simple job today. Now, I will say on last Thursday when I did this, the fucking landfill was like, our liquid pit's closed. I'm like, you fucking fuckheads. They're like, yeah, our liquid pit's closed. It's going to rain. Bro, we barely got any fucking rain. They closed that. They just wanted to go home early. So they wouldn't let me dump into the pit, which is always ideal. Everything about dumping in the pit is ideal. And they wanted me to dump down the bottom on the face. So that's what I did. And luckily I had a guy come with me and help me out, because that was not fun, pushing these uphill, these fucking 2,500 pound totes uphill, knock them out of the back of the truck. He helped me a lot, but I'm going to tell that guy, be like, you fucking owe me. I'll run the excavator. You fucking get in there and do that. Push those fucking totes, fucker. Because that was not fun on last Thursday. So I'm doing this today. I forgot what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm doing something pretty simple tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. Nothing that really made me think about it. So I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, but doing something. And then I'm doing this again on Thursday. And I'm going to try to start a little earlier on Thursday so I can get home or get back in time that I can run to the junkyard, because I don't know. The more I think about it, the more it's like, yeah, I need to go to the junkyard and get a fuse box first. I need the switches, but I can wire everything up and run the wires to the switches and label them, and then I can test them by touching them together. But I need to get the fuse box first so I can run the most of the wire, and I need to find out where I'm mounting the fuse box, because I thought about mounting the fuse box behind one of these panels on the dash, but I really don't want to do that. I don't want to be pulling on stuff with wires and stuff. I guess the radio side would be the best one. I could pull the radio out, and then I can undo the panel, or just undo the panel, and then the radio is super thin, so I could mount it there, and then I would have a really short run for all my wires. And then I guess right there I could mount it, and it would be mounted right behind where my phone is. Or I could just fucking cut the panel into another panel, and then just unbolt that one panel, and then the fuse box is right there. But I don't know about all that. I'd rather The glove box has it's a kind of a weird shape. Not weird, but it's just really thin on one side, and then it's got like the actual glove box on the other side. And it was shaped like that because of all the HVAC shit that was underneath the dash. And now that I don't have anything under the dash at all, I can cut. I can still have my glove box, but on the other side, where it's thin, I can cut that piece out, and I can not mount the fuse box to it, but I can mount the fuse box right there. And then if I ever, really need to get to it, and that would be ideal for wiring things up and for where the wires will be going through the firewall to the engine bay. That's right in line with everything. So, and I can get my wires cleaned up really well doing it that way. So that's my idea of where to put it. And yeah, the ashtray. I'm probably gonna pull everything out of that ashtray and then that's where my inverter is gonna be. That would be so cool if I could just pop open the ashtray, and that's where I've got, and I can do multiple. I can have like 2 or 3 cigarette lighting outlets, and then 2 regular outlets, like have just a regular fucking outlet there. Probably make a diamond plate face for everything, but I can have my, just pop that open and I can plug in anything. And if I do that, I'll probably end up using my fast charger. My fast charger for my phone. I don't know. Every time I've talked about the inverter and everything, it's like, what do I need the inverter for, though? Like, what am I going to be plugging in that would need the inverter? In the bed of the truck, it would be cool to have my little air compressor, so I can air up and my tires and stuff. Also, if I ever decided to do air ride suspension on it, which I've never done it, never thought about it really until just now, but if I did air ride suspension, I could I don't have to run all those airlines. I could run all those airlines to the air compressor, or I could just, have the hose and I got to get out and I got to air it up. And it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But what else do I need to have on the truck? I need an air compressor would be cool. Not big enough for air tools. I guess I could mount I could get my other air compressor to work. Cut the feet off of it, make it a mountable air tank, and I could mount that. That would be all right. That'd be pretty fucking sick. Have a big air compressor, and I can actually run air tools. Be on the side of the road. And if I had that, I would be more likely to pull over and help somebody with a flat tire if I have tools and an air compressor with me. I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. And I could, that would be pretty cool. I could put a Kletus service, Kletus auto service on the side of the door or whatever. Like, we're free, always free. And I just pull over and help people on the side of the road. That'd be fucking cool. Not that I want to always stop and help everybody, but I don't know. I'm driving around my Chevy Cruze and somebody, has a flat tire. They pull over and they're just like, oh, fuck. I'm like, I can't help you, actually. I'm just going to keep on driving. And get a headache rack with a bunch of orange lights on it that flash. So I could be like a roadside service guy. And then another little toolbox that's got all different types of fluids and liquids in it. Fluids are liquids, but man, maybe this is what I'm thinking about. Maybe this is what I should be going for, is a roadside service rig. But it's really just a fun fucking truck for me to have. And if people want to give me money, they can give me money. But for the most part, just be roadside service. No, you don't call me. But if I don't know, my mom has a flat tire on the side of the road or whatever, I'm like, I'll be there in a jiffy. Fire up the old SquareBody and run over there and help her out. Oh man, now I'm dreaming. Now I'm fucking dreaming. I say I'll be fucking superhero. Superhero SquareBody. Superhero Scottsdale. Scottsdale superhero. I don't know. But that, because I've been thinking about the logo for the side of the door, and I just don't know what. Nothing really sticks for me. But if the truck has a theme, and the theme is roadside service, boy, there's all different types of shit I can think about for that. That'd be fucking awesome. Now, my truck might be the one needing the service on the side of the road most of the time. Not cool. Have a little generator also. I wouldn't need an inverter if I have the generator, but I have like a little gas generator, maybe diesel, a big, I think it's like a 50-pound or 50-gallon air. No, that one is tiny. I do have a big ass air compressor, but I guess I could mount that one. But I'm losing bed space here, y'all, if I'm doing all that. And then on my fuel tank, I could have a transfer nozzle also. So if like somebody runs out of gas, boom, shakalaka, I could give you gas. I could have a dual setup. I could have one full of gas, one full of diesel, and then the diesel generator just runs off of that. And the air compressor runs off the generator. But I could also turn them on to be electric. I don't know. The headache rack, and I got chains and stuff. I could pull you out. I could tow you. I could get a little tow set up for it, like a little, no, can't do that really. But I could have tow ropes, tow chains. I'm not going to turn it into a tow truck, that's for sure. But if I put all this weight in the bed of the truck, I'm definitely going to need this air suspension to lift that motherfucker up. And the bed might fucking fall the fuck off. This rusty piece of shit truck. I love it. I love it, Rusty. The cab corners are real bad. Real bad. I'm going to have to remove the bed to get to the cab corners. The bed, I don't give a fuck about the bed. The bed can be as rusty as it wants to be, as long as the floor is taut and the fenders aren't wobbling, but I can always fix that. The cab, though, the cab corners, I'm going to have to take the bed off. And it's not going to be that big of a deal to take the bed off. There's only like 4 bolts. And then cleaning up the frame would be an amazing idea also. And then I could put new bolts into the bed. And I've been looking. I got under there and I was looking for a long time because either the cab or the bed is twisted. Because the body lines don't line up at all. And it's on the driver's side, and the driver's side has a good rocker. There's rust on it still. There's a rust hole in the front, but for the bulk of it, it's still a really good rocker on the front of on the driver's side. So it's weird if that would be twisted. You would see some sort of a bend or something, and then I got underneath it. It's got a body lift, and I was like, maybe the body lift bushings are not the same, but It's the same all the way around. The bed and the cab line up perfect. So I don't know. I don't understand what the fuck is twisted and why my body lines are off. Because I want to do a paint job on the truck. I thought about doing some sort of a trim deal, but I don't know about doing all that. But I want to do the center of the truck, make it the two-tone, and even paint the roof. Paint the roof white, paint the stripes on the side white. And it's not going to look good. It's going to look like shit if the body lines aren't lined up. Now, if I'm going off-roading and shit's actually twisting and the body lines don't line up, that's fine. But whenever it's just sitting in my driveway, it's not lined up. So I need to figure out what is going on, what's twisted. Now, the driver's side is where the tank, the fuel tank is all dented up and the bracket's all bent out of it and everything. So they definitely hit something there, and I'm wondering if whenever they hit something there, it lifted the bed up also a little bit, but it's just not making sense on what is bent and twisted. So, I don't know. Been talking about the SquareBody for a while. Probably gonna check the time real quick. Hour and a half, a little over. Yeah, today, just get the holes drilled for the bezel. Probably spend some time at the shop working on that, making sure I brought the gauges, I brought the wood piece, I brought the metal piece. I have everything I need to make sure shit's going to fit right. I'm hoping I can figure that out tonight. I think the mechanics are going to be gone by the time I get there. So if they have any tools that I would need that they lock up, that wouldn't be good. Because our community toolbox is not a very good community toolbox. It's got shit in there, but not a lot. I just hope, like the drill press is probably what I'm going to be after. And I hope the drill press has the attachments I'm going to need, but probably not. Probably not. Be cool if I had a punch machine. I could just punch them out. Tonking, tonking, tonking. 6 times. Get them all punched out. Boom. Perfect circles. And yeah, I just need to figure out how to get those gauges to tilt up just ever so slightly. Just a little bit. Just a wee bit. The radio's also face down a little bit, but I don't give a shit about the radio. Let the radio be twisted down a little bit. Now, like I did think, like, if the bezel, the way the bezel is, if you pulled it out a little bit, it would be where I need it to be. But that would mean I did need to cut the centerpiece even more to make them come out, because right now they fit perfect flat. But then there's going to be a gap along the entire bottom, and that doesn't look good at all. Having them rotated and gapped out doesn't look good at all. I guess I could use some like weather stripping, some thick weather stripping, and then just taper it down, and then have it on there, and then that would be kind of cool. But then it would be flimsy, more flimsy. I guess it wouldn't be flimsy if I put like a little collar on the, like kind of like washers, but like it's a collar. So whenever I tighten the screws down for the dash, it doesn't suck it in all the way. Oh, and then I have sheet metal at home, so I'm probably going to use the sheet metal at home. But underneath the column, there's a gap there's a panel that's supposed to be there that's not there, but I can definitely make that panel really easy out of some sheet metal that I have. And I'm not going to make it diamond plate because that wouldn't look right, but I can make another little panel with a rounded piece to kind of suck up, and it'll encapsulate the whole dash right there. It'll look really good. The vents. I've been talking for a while. I can keep going. If you guys really want me to, I can keep going. I'll keep going just a little bit. I'm going to run out of shit eventually. But I'm interested. And this drive to Iowa is wonderful because I've been talking the entire time. I'm in Iowa. Not yet. Hold on. Okay, now I'm in Iowa. Drove all the way to Iowa and been talking the entire time, and it does not feel like I've been driving for an hour and 40 minutes. I'll tell you that right now. And it's still got hot coffee. Oh. What was I going to say? I don't fucking know. The vents. I'm just gonna leave the vents for now. They look fine, even if they don't do anything. It looks normal. They're there. Eventually, I'd probably end up getting a diamond plate piece, pop out the Scottsdale badge, and then just put a solid piece over there, and then there would be no vents, and then the diamond plate would kind of continue along the dash, and that would be kind of cool. I would need to find a long piece of diamond plate, or I could do it in, pieces. That wouldn't look as good, but I could do that in pieces. And that would just be for aesthetics. But what I would put there, where the original vent is, in the center, I thought about, making that a defrost or a heat vent if I can figure out that shit. And I might be able to do that. But right where that is right now, I would mount the window switches, because the window switches are not going to be on the doors. The door panels, I'm going to do something with those. I need to do some investigations to figure out what I'm going to do with the doors. I might end up getting new door panels that are for crank windows, because then I'll cut out a hole and I'll put my speakers in the door right there, and then there won't be any areas for the window, because it's electric window and electric lock. But if I get a crank panel, it won't have any of that shit, and I can just mount my fucking speaker right there. That would be really fucking cool. And the window switches, I'm going to have two window switches, and they're going to be in the center of the dash. So the less wires are coming through the door panel, through the door into the cab, less wires, and rain won't affect, like, I can let it rain on the fucking door and water get up in there, and I don't know, the switches sometimes go bad with water going on them. So put those switches right in the middle of the dash, so I can always get to the window switches from either side. And I only have to wire up 2. I don't have to wire up 3. I was looking at window switches a lot on Amazon, because I could get like the same panel I have here on this Kenworth. It's got lock, unlock, up and down, window button, and then it's got but on that side, it's just got the window switch and the door lock. And so a panel like that would be kind of cool, and I could mount that on top of the door panel. That would be kind of cool. Have like a little bit of a newer look to it. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to have shit on top of my door panel and stuff. Mainly because, like, alright, if you bring dogs in your truck, this has happened to several fucking people. If you bring dogs in your car, they're going to climb up on that door panel. They're going to be clicking all sorts of buttons. So having them flat on the side is nice, but I don't want them on the side either. I don't like these switches. They're chrome, shitty fucking switches. I don't like them. So I got black, just up and down arrow buttons that'll be mounted on the dash somewhere. I'm thinking I could mount them next to the cubby hole. I could mount them next to the radio. I could mount them on the left side, but then if anybody's on that side and they want to roll the window down, or if I'm on that side and I need to roll the window down or something, I won't be able to because they'll be on this side. I'll have to lean all the way over. It's going to be a nice bench seat, so it wouldn't be so horrible to lay down on. Probably take a nap. Probably fall asleep trying to get the windows to roll down or up or whatever. But power windows is fucking cool. And then having them on the dash would be nice. I've been a crank window guy for a long time. My 78 had crank windows. My 96 had crank windows. My Ford Ranger had crank windows. My S10 had crank windows. I've had some power windows here and there. My Cruze has it. My Suburban had it. My 2006 had it. Oh yeah, my 88 Chevy truck I used to have, that had crank windows. Or did it? I don't think that one. I think that one had power windows. I think it was a Silverado. So it had power windows. But, and the locks. I thought about doing a lock button, but I don't think I want power locks. That, even less wires, I don't need power locks. And I'll just lock it myself. I thought about not, just having on the door panel over here on this side, getting rid of the fucking stick. So if I want this door to be locked, I have to lock it from the outside with the key. I think that's a good idea. I don't like locking my keys and my shit, and I do that all the fucking time. Luckily, these Kenworths, they have a system in them, so when you hit the door lock, if both doors are shut, you can lock the doors. But if you open the door, it automatically unlocks it, and then the only way the door that's open will not lock, it only locks with the key. It's a really cool system. It's saved me so many times when you leave the keys in the truck and you're hopping out, just running in the store real quick, you hit the lock button, close the door, and you're like, oh shit, but the door doesn't lock. It will not do that. The keys don't, they might have a chip in them. I highly doubt. No, they don't have a chip in them because I can use this key on any fucking Kenworth at our shop, basically. But it's pretty fucking interesting. So I'm thinking about doing that on both sides. Well, no, not on both sides. The passenger side, I'll leave the stick. Because if somebody needs to get in, I'd have to fucking give them the key so they can unlock the door. I'll leave the stick on that side. Or maybe I'll just turn that into one of these buttons over here. One of the buttons on my left side will be a door lock button. For that door only. Passenger door only. The driver door, no electric lock. Don't need it. Key lock. Key it. Lock it with the key. You always have the keys with you. But the passenger door, yeah, have a fucking stick on it so I can reach over and unlock it. I don't know. Or like I said, a button over here. So one button over here will be the door lock and door unlock. I don't know if it needs to be a rocker switch. Probably just a... Maybe it could be like a... When it's on, it's unlocked. And when it's off, it's locked. That could be interesting. Yeah, I wonder if that would work. I'd probably have to get a toggle switch, a momentary up and down switch again. Because that's how door locks are. Well, I don't know. You click it for power, and it'll lock. So I could have it just as a power unlock button. So otherwise, it stays off and it's locked. If somebody wants to get in, boom, click the button, and it unlocks. And then if you turn the button off, it won't do anything. It'll just unlock it once, and then you have to manually lock it. I mean, I might have extra buttons. I could do one for lock and one for unlock, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to do this wiring shit. I'm trying to think of it. I'll have wing windows. I'll have a back sliding window, power windows, new windshield. Don't need to lock the tailgate. If I get the fuel tank in the bed like I want, then the fuel doors, you're gonna open up the fuel doors, and there's gonna be a small little tray inside there. For what? I don't know. Maybe for nothing. They're just there, and I can I don't know, if I put a toolbox in there, I'll just use it for toolbox. But I could put just like a regular, like the tire. No. I don't know. There really isn't much you need to have if you have a toolbox. Now, I haven't really thought about I've thought about the toolbox, but I don't really want a regular old toolbox, like over the bed rail toolbox. And I don't want like a giant fucking toolbox in there either. Just a small little thing. I could make, with some MDF, I could make like a sub box and put a sub box behind the driver's seat or behind the bench seat. Have it right in the middle of the bench, and there's a sub box there. Get it wired up and have those wires ran probably up and over the driver door or passenger door. I'll run them over the passenger door down into the dash, then they'll come right into where the glove box is. And then also with my dome lights and stuff, the driver's side, the wires are all going to stop at the dash, and then the wires will come down through the floor or through the firewall probably, and then come under and then go all the way to the back, and those will be for the tail lights, run along the frame rail. And then also the fuel line, and the brake lines are on the driver's side. The fuel lines will be on the passenger side. And then I'll just have all those lines nice and neat, because the master cylinder's on the driver's side, so that makes sense for the brake lines to go on that side. There will be no speedo cable, no crazy linkage and shit for the shifter. All that stuff will be gone. The shifter is going to be mounted straight to the top of the transmission right there. No speedo cable because I have GPS, speedometer. And then I don't know where I'll put the antenna. Probably just have it right up underneath the visors. Or have it ran kind of like in the window seal and have it pop out right underneath right on top of the mirror. I'd like to do a dash cam A dash cam would be cool. That's just suction cup to the window though, and I'd probably mount it just for myself. For me, my personal one, I'll mount it to the back window, right in the center of the back window. So hopefully you can still see like the mirrors. It'll be a nice wide angle. You can see the mirrors still. So if somebody's running up on me and I have a dash cam, I can have that. And then even the rear view mirror, it might see the rear view mirror and be able to see behind it itself. That would be kind of cool. That's interesting. Little dash cam, and it'll be kind of more out of the sun because I had a dash cam in my 2006, and it sat up on the corner of the windshield all the time, and it got baked by the sun. And even though I had a brow sticker so that it was shielding the light out, and it still burnt the fucking camera up. It was like my Ring camera on my house is also baked by the sun. That's how brutal the sun is in the mornings. It just comes up and it's just all fucking day, just not all day, but most of the day, the Ring camera is just getting beat by the sun, and it's so brittle and broken and shit. Now tent, I don't really plan on doing much tent, but if I get a headache rack, I'm going to tint the back window. Not a lot, maybe like 20, 25%. Get the window, and I can do that myself. I've done it on trucks before. Tint the back window, and then the brow. I don't think I want to do a brow on this truck, maybe. I don't know. I don't want it to, maybe a really, really light brow, and maybe even a colored brow. So instead of it just being a black brow, it'll be a blue. But that wouldn't look good. I'll just do black. But also not super dark, just a little bit of a brow. Storage inside the truck. Yeah, but you just lean the seat forward. I'll have a binder or a clipboard or something back there. Also a fire extinguisher on both sides of the truck. And a nice little kitty, I think they're called, kitty fire extinguishers. Right on the inside of the cab corners there on both sides. And then probably one, I don't know, I'd like to mount one under the hood. But I don't know if there's a fire underneath the hood. I gotta open the hood to get to the fire extinguisher. So probably, I don't know, probably just leave him right there in the back of the cab. Yeah, my mom gave me a fire blanket. Now we keep that in the kitchen. It's like a fiberglass fire blanket. I don't know, but I don't know. It kind of got me thinking. Keep one of those in the truck also. So if like the engine does catch on fire, instead of hosing the motherfucker down and ruining shit, I can just throw the fire blanket over it. But I don't know how the fire blanket really works. I don't know. Does it melt? Is that what happens to it? Does it melt the fire? I don't understand. A regular old fire extinguisher should be fine. Lighting, yeah, I'd like to wire up the brake lights to the headache rack. I got a piece of metal I'm thinking about making into the headache rack, but I don't think it's going to be wide enough. I don't think it's going to look like I want it to look, but I can always add on to it and customize it. I have a shitload of expanded metal, so could use some of that to make my headache rack the way I want it to be in my vision. I would need a weld. We have a welder at the shop, so that shouldn't be a problem welding up something like that. Now, welding up like the body panels and stuff, I don't think I'm doing that. I think I'm just gonna panel bond it uh, with some liquid nails and then rivet everything down for the any and all of the body panels. The cab corners, the outside cab corners, probably maybe try to weld those. I don't know. Then sand it down and paint it. Like the floor pans. Rivet, bitch. Rivet them all in. No welding needed. Just rivet them in. Panel bond. A shitload of rivets, but enough rivets. Rockers. Man, I'm talking about too much. I'm not going to have enough to talk about next time. On the next, I'm just kidding. On the next episode, I will be doing the same exact spiel for all of you guys. Just kidding. I'll try to. The next episode will be some sort of a story or something. I'll talk about something because those seem to do all right. I think those are more interesting than me sitting talking about my rusty truck the whole time. But I will go ahead and end this on this note. Those t-shirts. Anybody that wants a t-shirt, get on the Facebook group. Look for me, Wolfpack Creations, One Man Wolfpack, whatever the fuck my name is on there. Click it. Message. Send me a message there or just comment on the Facebook group. It's linked down below in the description. It's super easy. Just scroll down a little bit, look there, click it. There's the link to the Facebook group. Just join it up. Now, it's called Truckers and Others, and I get a lot of fucking scammers on there. Like, a lot. Like, I could have a group of probably 500 fucking people on there. But I don't, because most of them, it's like some foreign name, and then you click on it. It's like they're part of 2,752 fucking groups, and you click on it, and every single group says trucks, trucking trailer, trucking down the road, trucking USA, trucking Canada. You know, they're just every group they join is trucks. It has trucks in the title, and those are fake. I know they're fake. They're fake profiles just joining anything with the keyword truck in it. So I don't accept those ones. So if you are listening and you are a part of 4,000 groups about trucks, I'm not going to accept it because I don't think you're real. And I don't need a bunch of fakies coming in there causing a disturbance. Okay? They'll go in there, they'll be like, did you guys get your money yet? Comment now to claim your free $2,000. Like, what the fuck? No, those are fake. Does any like this picture so Jesus will save you? Like, what? What? No, that's not how Jesus saves people. By liking some picture from some fucking foreign person? No. This Marine never gets a like on his picture. It's like, what the fuck? And it's like a guy missing an arm. And he's like, he looks all sad. He's like, nobody ever likes pictures like these. It's like, the fuck are you talking about? Get out of here, scammers. Y'all are trying to scam people. What they're doing is they're just trying to get interaction that is a live Facebook profile, and then they're going to take that shit and fucking do something with it. I don't know. Oh, thanks for blocking the whole fucking road. I couldn't see if the way station was open or closed. I'm like, did they finish it? Did they fucking finish it or not? I couldn't see the fucking. I saw the sign, but it didn't. It was blank. But then they have another big ass sign that says way station closed, and this fucking truck just. I don't know. He's not doing anything wrong. It was my fault. I was in the way. He was in my way, but it was my fault. Sorry, buddy. The fucking way station. They're getting it made up. They're gonna really be ready to start pulling trucks in there eventually. Iowa scale, northbound I-35. Mile marker 30, maybe 31. I don't know. 31 is right here, so it's pretty close to 30. But yeah, if you want a T-shirt, completely free. Shipping's free. The shirt is free. Everything is free about it. I am taking money out of my pocket, and with help from my buddy, we are going to make some T-shirts. They're going to be high vis yellow. I like the yellow ones. So high vis yellow T-shirts. Get on the Facebook group, check it out, because I put a design up there. I'm not sure if that's going to be the design I go with, but it might be kind of like that. And if I do decide on a different logo, it'll be on the Facebook group. Just get on there, check it out, be like, that's a fucking ugly shirt. I'm going to go ahead and get one just so I can burn it. You can do that. You can do whatever you want with your shirt. You'd be like, that shirt is so ugly, I'm going to re-gift it to somebody. Like, go for it. Get it for free from me, and then give it to somebody. Get on there and check it out. If you want a free shirt, free shipping, free everything, I will need your fucking address and your size. Whatever size you want and your address. Sizes are going to be US, obviously. I'm in US. So if you have a different size chart, graph, I don't know. The UK has some shit. I don't know. If you look on the inside of your shoe, like US is like a size 10 and a half, and UK is like 11 and a half. It's like, what is going on here? You know, I don't know. I don't know. Their inches are different over there, I guess. They don't use inches. They use centimeters or fucking caterpillars. How many caterpillars? What size caterpillars? I don't fucking know. They do some weird shit over there. Weird to me. Not weird to them, obviously, but it's weird to me. A foot is a kilo or some shit. I don't know. Some weird translations over there. The bonnet? People call hoods of cars bonnets. And the trunk is a boot. What the boot? And I think in some countries, like a lorry, people call lorries. Is that a bus or a truck? I don't know. Or a semi. I'd like a cab over maybe. I don't even know. What is a lorry? What's a lorry? Trying to think of other words. People. Poutine? There's a Canadian for you. Give me some of that poutine. I asked my wife for some poutine last night. She said no. Um, Her poutine was out of service. What else is good? Quit hitting the brakes, you fucking Hyundai. No, that's a Nissan. Yes, there's dump trucks on the side of the road. I understand. They're 10 feet on the inside of the cones. You don't have to go 50 miles an hour. We can go the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. Making me hit my brakes going downhill, motherfucker. I've not been up to date with any of my podcasts. Oh, fuck! I'm sorry. I said the last thing I was going to talk about, so you guys can be done with this episode, was talking about the free shirt that you can get by going to the Facebook group and just commenting, "Give me a shirt," or even say something like, "I think your podcast sucks," and I'll say, "Free shirt for you. Wear it around." I will say, now if you wear this Truckers and Others shirt and somebody asks you about it, say something like, I don't know, you can say whatever you want, but you could say like, "This is it's a fucking a fat idiot that all he eats is meat, and he talks about his fucking square body all the time. It's pretty fucking annoying, but we listen all the time." And I got this free shirt from him. All I had to do was go to the Facebook group. But if he's on episode 200, the giveaway's done. So you have to comment that you want a shirt before episode 200. After episode 200, I'm not doing shirts. I'm not a merch man, okay? I'm not a merchant. So this is just a free thing that I'm doing for people that have listened and liked the podcast. You don't even have to like it, but people that have listened to it for the first 200 episodes, you're getting a founding membership 200th anniversary. I don't know if it's not called anniversary, but 200th shirt. This is a one-time shirt. So after episode 200, I'm gonna lay down a design. That's gonna be the design. Well, I'm gonna have the design laid out before that, but and we're only like what 8 episodes away. That's next week if I go at my normal schedule. So I'm only 8 episodes away. You can get your shirt. I've got a couple people that say they want one, and they're gonna get one, 100% free. I will be shipping it. If you live in Alaska, I'm shipping it, buddy. I'm shipping it. It's going to come in on probably like a horse. Somebody's going to ride a horse with it. It's cheaper. I don't know why it's cheaper. It actually seems to be way more expensive to have a guy on a horse ride this fucking t-shirt all the way to Alaska. But if you're in Alaska and you want a t-shirt, it's probably going to show up on a horse next year sometime. I don't know how fast these horses move, but if you're in Puerto Rico, I'm probably going to hire somebody to swim. It's cheaper. I don't know why boats are so expensive. Airplanes expensive. But a guy to swim from USA, well, he's got to meet me at my house. Meet me at my house in Kansas City. Walk down to the ocean and then start swimming. I will seal up the bag so the shirt won't get wet. But a guy's going to swim it up to your house. Now, he's going to be fully vetted. Like, the guy's going to be, he's going to be in really good shape, probably, and might be thirsty. So have a drink ready. Maybe a sandwich or something. Get him something, because this guy swam from wherever he decided to get in the water to Puerto Rico if you ordered a shirt and you live in Puerto Rico. What if you gave me a fake address? You're just like, it'd be funny is to make this guy send a t-shirt to Wales to a random house, and you give me a random address, and then somebody in Wales is just like, the fuck is this? I don't know how they talk. They're like, I don't fucking know what Wales even is. But if there's somebody in Wales that receives a Truckers and Others t-shirt, maybe they'll start listening. They'll be like, I actually got a t-shirt in the mail. It's random. But I got a t-shirt for Truckers and Others. Some random guy. I don't know. I'm going to have to listen to the podcast, see what this is about. And they're like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Another thing that I shouldn't get into. But I'm excited to just talk about it. I'm thinking about changing the name. I'm thinking about changing the name of the podcast. Because I named it Truckers and Others. Episode 1, I created Truckers and Others. And I thought it would be cool to do a solo podcast, but also have some others on here. And I tried to twist those words around to say, oh, I talk about truckers and other stuff, you know, but it meant to be truckers and others. Like, so I'm a trucker, but I talk to others, and I've had one podcast, one single podcast. Well, actually, I think 2, maybe 3. I don't know, but I've only had a guest on like one official time. There was one with Operation Get a Square Body, where we were driving down to pick up the square body. I had my brother and my buddy with me, and we created a podcast. Audio's horrible, but that's what it is. And another one where I was in my garage with my buddy, um, just talking about stuff, and they're short episodes, and there's nothing special about them really. So I'm thinking about changing the name because I like the way I'm doing it, and I want to keep doing it this way. I will have guests on, but I'm thinking about changing the name. So don't be freaked out whenever the name gets changed. And the name will probably get changed to Kletus Ray. Just Kletus Ray. Kletus Talks. Kletus something. Because that's my nickname that I've had for a very long time, and I decided not to use it for some reason on this. I go by Kevin. Everybody knows me by Kevin except for like some close friends and stuff. They know me as Kletus, and my heart gets warmer every time somebody calls me Kletus. So I'm thinking about changing it to Kletus and something. It's Kletus. Kletus is Kletus Cast. I don't want it to be gay. I don't want the name to be a gay name. But Kletus Ray, or just call it Kletus and see if that works, if that name's taken or not. I don't know. But change the name to Kletus. And I'm still going to be a trucker. Hold on, sneeze it. Oh, jeez, that one was bad. About lost my chew. So anyways, I'll leave you on that note. If you have comments, questions, or inquiries, just let me know on the Facebook group. That's where I'll be checking stuff. I get notifications all the time. This guy is going downhill way faster than me, but I'm faster than him uphill, and we'll be going uphill soon. GSC Leasing, LLC. He's a blue and yellow truck. He's way faster than me. I'm stuck at 75. I'll slow down a little bit. I'm gonna get you on this fucking hill, bitch. I'm gonna fuck your shit up on this hill. I just don't know if he wants to pass that van or not. Oh, we gotta go downhill again before the uphill. Come on! He's way fast downhill. He's way too fast downhill. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'll get him on this hill, for sure. This is a pretty steep one. So I'm gonna get him. There he goes. He's going faster than me. And now it's my time to shine, bitch. Here we go. Crank it up. Crank it up. Let's go. Let's go. You're going so slow, you dumbass. Ha, 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 ha. Got your ass. I got him, boys. But we are headed for another downhill section, so this is not good. Keep ball 18 down. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.